we get Toby Keith, who at this point wasn't the big country music star that
he was big in the country
now.
music scene, but he hadn't gone mainstream.
Yeah, and he had a big hit with "How Do You Like Me Now? Now I'm on my way," with a girl who I kept thinking was Dixie Carter in the stands in this music video, but it's not. It just looks like her. But yeah, Toby Keith's. I like his stuff actually. Not a lot of people did, but I thought his stuff was pretty good. He turns up and
gets a good 3/4 of a way for a live performance.
Yeah, he sings.
Like they got their money. TNA's like, we're getting our money's worth out of him.
He sings "The Angry American," which was a real sort of chest pumping American yeehaw.
He does mention Confederate. Yeah, he mentions the Confederates.
Sam, put your name on the top of the list, and the American flag and start beating her fist. Something or other about blowing up the US of A. Really good song that I can't remember one lyric to. But yeah, Toby Keith was he was really good. He actually tried to buy TNA later on when they were having money troubles, which could be any year to be honest. But they done the stupid thing of actually showing him the accounts, and he was like, "Fuck that, boy, that ain't happening. I've got 500 million in the bank. I'm not wasting a penny on this crap." So yeah, Toby Keith was at one point touted to be an owner, and then sort of decided otherwise. Anyway, this lovely song ends, of course, with what else? The song, he literally hits the final note, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He literally hits the final note before, of course, Jeff Jarrett turns up, pushes him out of the way, so he can start his battle royal. And he starts the battle royal, and Toby Keith gets dragged off by security, even though it was Jarrett that started the fucking ruckus in the first place. I was like, what the fuck's that about?
But it's the fact that security are fucking tiny. Like, everyone else has proper security guards, or WWE will use NXT guys if it's for a gimmick. Toby Keith looks like he could take him on.
Oh, come on, look at this one security guard here, come on.
He's like a decent 6 foot.
Oh yeah,
he's like 6'2", 6'3". Like, Toby Keith, you could probably put a bit of muscle on him. He would have been decent.
Yeah. Anyway, we get to the main event of the evening, which of course Jarrett cuts a promo because he's still upset about the fact that he's booked in a battle royal and not just given the belt from the Voth. And he's booked in, I can't remember what they call it. Was it Gauntlet for the Gold or the?
Going for the gold, Gauntlet for the Gold, something like that.
Yeah, it was something for the gold.
Jeff Jarrett in fucking gold. That's all we can say.
Yeah. That's all we can say because if we say any more, we might get in trouble. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Jarrett's starts the battle royal,
and because earlier in the night he mouthed off to Fargo made him #1 entrant.
Yes. So we're going for all the heel tropes here, and out comes entrant number 2, Buff Bagwell.
American males.
American males. Yes, Buff turns up.
Fair enough, another WCW star, but not mentioned once.
No, Buff.
He was a no-name in WCW. Shamrock's been out of the business for a couple of years, and yet they do not mention Buff at all.
Buff's a sad one, because he's known literally for that one match, isn't he, with Booker on Raw? That killed the Invasion.
And for not having the best name backstage, because he didn't want to work out, so he got calf implants.
Something like that. How does that even work? 'Cause I could do that myself. You know?
Yeah, apparently, I don't know. Maybe he just didn't want to do leg day, or he just couldn't. Muscle didn't go there properly for him. But yeah, he had calf implants.
I don't do leg day, arm day, chest day, any day.
And you know what his current job is, don't you?
Go on in.
He's a gigolo.
Just a gigolo, and everywhere
he's a married man, but he's a rent boy. For middle-aged women.
A rent boy for middle-aged women. So he is a gigolo. Okay.
But
he's literally lost about what?
30 seconds.
He literally got paid for about 30 seconds work in this match.
God, if only the gigolo thing worked that way.
Well, maybe it does. We don't know.
They do pay by the hour, these women.
Do they have a review section for these things? We could look up.
Great work, Ray.
Great work.
Knows how to pump up the crowd.
No one has ever said great work, Ray, for Bagwell.
Yeah, a real blockbuster.
A real blockbuster. So Buff's in for about 60 seconds. And
Jarrett goes for a bit. It's the same kind of booking as what they've done for the most recent Rumble with Brock Lesnar. It's like throw him out one at a time.
Yeah. So Buff Daddy's gone. Fuck knows where. I don't think they're using much of it. Lash LaRue, ladies and gentlemen. Lash LaRue was one of those guys in the dying days of WCW. I think he was a power plant guy.
Yeah, he was.
Mainly seen on Saturday Night and Pro and the Leicester shows and doing jobs on TV.
Gets thrown out the second rope in this match. He wasn't thrown out. The match is still going.
Not a lot you can say about Lash LaRue.
I don't know what happened to him after this point. Really, I know he appeared in TNA for like a cup of coffee kind of deal, but
nice sideburns, I guess. Hasn't even got that here. He hasn't even got sideburns.
No.
There is nothing really you could say about Lash LaRue. Does he get a hit on Jarrett here or not?
He gets a stroke, sort of.
Jarrett literally gives him nothing. It's
like you have the honour of being in the ring with me.
Yeah.
Great bump to the outside.
Oh god, he gives him. I don't think he got one hit on him. He didn't give him anything at all. This is quite good because they have a timer at first.
Yeah. And they give up with it partway through.
It's a shoot timer. It's genuinely 90 seconds, and then halfway through they realise, do you know what, we've got a lot of dead air to kill here.
Because there's a certain ex-Fed guy who comes down, and also look, it had 20 seconds left. They've already brought out the next person.
It goes Norman Smiley, all the way from Newcastle, and he's brought his big wiggle with him. Norman Smiley. Smiley was another one of those guys. One of the bright spots of the dying NWW. For me, the biggest mishap of the invasion is not Goldberg and Steve Austin. It's not Sting and The Undertaker. It is Norman Smiley and Crash Holly. Wait. I think Screaming Norman, when he was doing the softcore gimmick of being terrified of hardcore wrestling and screaming...
Well, mainly of Terry Funk.
Yeah, of Terry Funk and Meng. Screaming his head off. I think they missed a trick there, having some great comedy stuff with Crash Holly.
I love that fucking... the body slam that he does. A bit like the kind of Jeff Cobb kind of tour of the aisles. Like swings them round.
And he does Jarrett up the arse. Oh, no, he doesn't. No, Jarrett's not having no guy doing
No,
the
Jarrett
arse.
Speaks out.
Yeah, Jarrett's against that sort of thing, you know. He's in a weak-looking stroke, and I think that's it for Norman's. And here we go. It's like, so
Norman.
Long,
and
Norman.
Everyone who is on this show, Norman is the one that's kept a full-time job in wrestling the longest.
Yeah. Norman's about. Well, they're all, most of the people here are working in the Fed right now, aren't they?
Oh, they're right. Yeah, they're still about.
As agents or whatever they do.
Even Jarrett.
Yeah, even Jarrett. You've got 8 seconds, and who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? It's going to be
one of my favourite OG TNA stars, Apollo. Another he was a world champion in Puerto Rico many times over. He just looks like a islands version of Batista. He's a Puerto Rican Batista.
He looks the part.
Yeah.
But I don't remember anything else about him at this period.
He has some good matches throughout. Him and Sonny Siaki become a tag team and have like a break-up feud later on in TNA, and it's great.
Right.
It's a great pop-up powerbomb, like set-out powerbomb.
Well, at this point, they had a lot of former WF stars and WCW stars and ECW stars, but they needed some homegrown talent, so it would make sense to go for a guy like Apollo and build around him, but I don't remember what they did with him, because a lot of TNA's a bit of a blur.
I don't believe he ever won the belt. I think he was like always fighting for it.
But a lot of TNA's a bit of a blur. He seems a bit green in places, but...
He definitely, he's got like the Scott Hall clotheslines where he just hits you with the wrist.
Oh, right, okay. Is that the old British Bulldog clothesline where his arms up in the air to avoid tearing a bicep?
You've got a bump before I get there kind of deal.
And here comes K Quick, Getting Rowdy, K Crush, Ron Killings, R-Truth, whatever they're calling him this week.
Yeah, Little Jimmy. Fresh from the racism angle about 10 minutes ago. I think he's the second ever world champion in TNA. It went black there for a second, don't know why. I think he's the second ever world champion in TNA. Up next is Slash, who is someone that I did not know.
Okay, Slash, I believe, was Wolfie D from PG-13 in the 90s. He looks the part. He really looks like a menacing bugger. And he's got the Minister, who's one of my favourites. All-time favourites.
Paul James Mitchell. Why he was never used in the Fed?
I have no freaking idea.
He always was used in TNA.
How they couldn't have just had the Minister manage Kane for a bit or something, I don't know.
Well, Bray Wyatt, or just have him appear in a fucking Bray Wyatt dream, like the Fiend kind of thing, something like. He could still do a job.
They done that thing in TNA later on that I'm sure we'll cover years down the line from now, where he's you got the Undead Realm where girls keep going and having these matches, and Rosemary sends everyone. It's a right fucking mess. At one point, he gets stabbed, I think, by Rosemary, and he dies, and he goes to heaven, and in the heaven, he wakes up in the heavens, and there's like a fucking little kitty cat sort of. There's a biscuit with thumbtacks, and everything's all nice and bright and fuzzy and wonderful, and he just sort of looks around and goes, "Who booked this shit?" It's just brilliant.
Next up is Indy Steiner.
Oh, yes. Imagine
You can't get Scott Steiner,
How? I don't know.
but you can get Rick. So you think to yourself, well, what we'll do is if we just say to Rick, hey, Rick, if you just give us, we'll give you a couple extra bucks if you can get Scott Steiner's gear. And we'll get some guy who looks like him, give him a load of baby oil, and maybe no one will notice. This is literally the Wish.com Steiner, isn't it?
Yeah, because his name is Del Rios. He has the Superman S on his jocks, just like I believe Scott Steiner did towards the end of WCW. He's got the bleach blonde hair. He's got like the goatee with the black line, the actual soul patch, which is dyed black, and the rest is blonde. You can't get away with it, like unless he's just on the indies and is trying to get over by pretending to be Steiner, like Indie Taker and all that shit. But
yeah, it's embarrassing. It's not quite Renegade bad, but it is
no, because Renegade got fucking booked that way.
Yeah, it's not Renegade bad because Renegade they built up as Warrior and then bait and switched to it last minute. Whereas this one, I don't think they advertised Steiner as coming in.
No.
So it's not quite as bad.
Not for a long time.
But it is bad. Where was Steiner at this point? Was he waiting out his deal?
He was waiting out his deal still, yeah.
Right, yeah. He comes in November to the Fed.
And there's this awful thing with...
and falls apart pretty quick, sadly.
Did have a good feud with Testo over Stacey Keebler. I liked that.
Yeah.
Right.
And then regains his entire career in TNA, I think.
Right, up next, Chris Justice.
Chris Justice, who I think
grew up to be Abyss.
He grew up to be Abyss.
And fucking hell.
Joseph Parks and all sorts of marvellous.
Yeah.
Look at him here, though.
He's fucking spry.
Oh, he is. Look at him.
It's like a young giant.
Yes, it's a strange one, Abyss, because for a period there, people were making Vader comparisons. That's how good he was. But he was also one of those guys I just seemed to like to just mutilate himself or,
He got when I first started TNA, I joined roughly around the time that AJ won the NWA title for the first time. It's still Nashville days, but it was always AJ versus Abyss because Abyss worked for Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah, when he had Minister, there's the Black Hole Slam there. When he had Minister, he was really good. But it's always a testament of how bad how good a manager is when their manager leaves their side. And the talent falls apart.
And then he had as cool as Sister Abigail looks, like the 2x4 with all the nails in, it falls into the same category as Triple H's sledgehammer. You can never hit someone with it.
No, because...
They did once or twice, because he wore the leather jacket and things. They did smash him in the back a couple of times with it, and but it never stuck in or anything, so it doesn't look amazing. And then he has the stupid thing where Hogan gives him his Hall of Fame ring.
Oh, God, you have that wonderful bit where he's drinking backstage with America's Most Wanted and... I think Miss Texas kisses him. And he's like, does this mean I'm not a virgin anymore? Oh, God. Speaking of old God, here comes fucking Conan.
Swole Conan.
Oh, God. Same old shit every week. Other than that one match with Flair at the Bash of the Beach 96, I'd challenge anyone to point me in a direction of a good Conan match.
Yeah. And his stupid roll-through clotheslines, like in a WWE size ring, which I think is like 20 by 20 or something, or 21 by 21, it would make sense because he's got the extra room. But when it's in an 18-foot ring, like I imagine this is, it doesn't work because he hasn't got the clearance. Because he's a fucking big fucker.
Yeah, and he does it like sort of 5-6 times here in the first sort of opening battle.
Like he kept a job with Impact for so long.
Yeah, and WCW for so long. In fact, he's had jobs that he just shouldn't have had.
But yeah, he was the. He was the one who was the middleman in ECW who got over all the Mexican talent. Like he was the one that booked them all and got a cut. WCW he had the same rough kind of deal and had his own talent, got into the NWO and shit like that and Wolfpack. In TNA he was kept around the whole time, was part of 3 Live Crew, then became like a manager, helped bring Mexican talent over, got a cut of their money still. Ended up getting TNA to pay for his surgery, and then left as soon as he healed because he's like, I've got what I want now.
He's a hustler, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he went on to work with Lucha Underground as well. Came back for an angle of he was the manager of the new LAX, the ones that are now in AEW, and then it was him having feuds with Eddie Kingston and the original LAX, and now comes. The man, the myth, the legend, and I think you're going to have to just splice this in.
Yes, Joel Gertner.
Joel fucking Gertner.
I like Gertner.
With a PG speech.
Yes, he's lost a hell of a lot of weight here as well.
He's good.
Yeah, he looks alright. So Joel Gertner's here, who was a favourite in ECW and a very likeable favourite in ECW because of his innuendo-laced spills and stuff.
Fucking amazing.
Who is he? What's he representing? Who's he managing here?
I'm trying to remember his next. Oh, it's Bruce of the Rainbow Express. Yes, was it Lodi?
Oh my god. Yeah.
Just look at him.
It's definitely 2002. You know, because you wouldn't get away. Nowadays, these two would be the biggest babyface going, wouldn't they? An out-gay couple.
He looks like an American version of Adrian Street.
Yeah. Chris Jericho let himself go, didn't he?
No, I was going to say, no, he looks like a gay version of WCW Steve Austin. And we say gay version because they are a gay couple. They're supposed to be, and he has a giant rainbow on his fucking tights. Yeah, but nowadays you'd get over.
Yeah, that look nowadays would sell tickets.
You'd have to be a babyface.
Yeah, he'd be a progressive babyface now. But here he's, I think the announcers are sort of making comment. Well, I think Don West is talking about how these people are invading society and shit. But Ed Ferrara, who's the heel, is actually putting him over, which makes the heel look progressive.
Yeah.
Wrestling's weird.
Next up, I believe the dog-faced gremlin. Yes, it is.
Who let the dogs out? Rick Steiner. I fucking love me some Rick Steiner.
Yeah. Good television champion, WCW. I remember a good match. I think it was one of the Bash at the Beaches. He had a good match against Buff Bagwell.
He has a great one against Bill Goldberg on one of the road...
Stiff clotheslines.
He turns up and does the old Steiner lines, and Steiner lines the piss out of everybody.
But he's wailing on them. I forgot how heavy they were.
Everyone feeds for Rick. Including fake brother Scott Apollo, who
gets an extra hard one because he probably loves. Like,
he should have fucking crippled him. Yeah, with that,
just shoot punch him.
But again,
is this the dodgy elimination belly to belly? Yeah.
Oh, there you go. But if you look at it with Apollo in there, it does look like the Steiners are both in.
Yeah. Just a gorgeous I don't know if it's a suplex or tries to lift him up against Chris Justice. Oh, safe bump on the way out, but...
Yeah, Abyss is gone, so...
Good for him, as Joseph Parks are getting over in WWE now. I don't know if they've done any more with it, if it was just that one appearance. But
I don't know.
I know AJ made a point of naming him, saying Joseph Parks in several segments to get his name out there, which I think was... apparently that wasn't in the scripts, what they were planning to, but AJ says, thank you, Joseph Parks. Which I like.